Most people misunderstand Krishna. They think he was simply a god of peace, love, and devotion. But that version of Krishna is incomplete, because Krishna was not just a spiritual teacher. He was a strategist, a philosopher, a destroyer of illusion. And his philosophy was never designed to comfort weak minds. It was designed to wake people up. Because according to Krishna, the greatest prison is not the world around you. It is your attachment to it. Every human being is born trapped by fear. Fear of losing people, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of death. And because of this fear, people spend their entire lives pretending to be successful, pretending to be happy, pretending to be someone they are not. Krishna believed this is why most people suffer, not because life is cruel, but because they build their identity on temporary things. Money disappears, beauty fades, relationships change, even the body eventually collapses. Yet people cling to these things as if they are permanent, and when life takes them away, they break. That is why Krishna taught detachment, not because emotions are wrong, but because attachment turns love into fear. The moment your happiness depends entirely on something outside you, you become its prisoner. This is why Krishna's philosophy was never about escaping life. It was about mastering yourself within it. One of his most dangerous teachings appears on a battlefield, not inside a temple. The Bhagavad Gita begins in the middle of war. That matters because Krishna was teaching that true wisdom is not tested in peace. It is tested in chaos. Arjuna stood frozen on the battlefield, confused, emotionally shattered, unable to act. He looked at the people before him and said, "How can I fight those I love?" And this is where Krishna reveals one of the deepest ideas in all philosophy. He tells Arjuna, "Your emotions are real, but they cannot control your duty." That statement alone destroys modern weakness, because most people today worship feelings. If they feel afraid, they stop. If they feel tired, they quit. If they feel uncertain, they avoid action. Krishna rejected this mindset completely. He believed discipline matters more than emotion, because emotions change every hour, but purpose remains. Krishna never said life would be painless. He said suffering becomes unbearable when the mind refuses reality. People suffer more in imagination than in existence itself. They replay the past, fear the future, compare themselves endlessly, and slowly their mind becomes their enemy. That is why Krishna taught mastery over the self, not suppression. Mastery. He believed the uncontrolled mind is like a wildfire. It destroys peace from within, but a disciplined mind becomes unstoppable. And this is where most people misunderstand detachment again. Detachment does not mean becoming emotionless. Krishna laughed, loved deeply, played music, built relationships. He embraced life fully, but he refused to lose himself inside temporary experiences. That balance is the core of his philosophy, to live completely without becoming controlled by what you live through. Krishna also believed that every person has a role to fulfill, a dharma, a responsibility, and suffering begins the moment you abandon your true nature just to satisfy others. This is why so many people feel empty today. They are living performances instead of lives. They chase validation instead of truth. Krishna warned against this long before modern society existed. He believed external approval is one of the weakest foundations a human can build their identity on, because the crowd changes constantly. One day they praise you, the next day they destroy you. So if your identity depends on applause, your peace will always remain fragile. Krishna taught something far more powerful. Do your work, give everything to it, but detach from the outcome. That single philosophy can transform an entire life, because most anxiety comes from obsession with results. People fear failure before they even begin. They become paralyzed by outcomes they cannot control. Krishna believed you control only two things: your actions and your state of mind. Everything else is temporary, uncertain, beyond your command. This is why Krishna's philosophy feels so timeless, because human beings have not changed. The battlefield only looks different now. Today, the war exists in the mind. Comparison, addiction, validation, overthinking, fear of being left behind. Modern people are surrounded by stimulation, yet internally lost. And Krishna's message cuts through all of it with brutal clarity. Master yourself first, because no external victory can save a person who is defeated internally. And maybe the most terrifying part of Krishna's philosophy is that he believed transformation requires destruction. The ego must die. Illusions must collapse. False identities must break. Only then can a person see clearly. That is why growth feels painful, because the old version of you resists disappearing. But Krishna believed suffering can become a doorway, a force that burns away ignorance, not punishment, refinement. And in the end, Krishna's philosophy was never about becoming superhuman. It was about becoming conscious, to stop drifting through life unconsciously, to stop being ruled by fear, to stop searching for permanent happiness in temporary things, and to finally understand this truth. You were never meant to control the entire world, only yourself. And the moment you master that, life stops feeling like a prison and starts feeling like a battlefield you are finally prepared to face.